President Trump has made it clear that acquisition of the island nation of Greenland is in the strategic interest of the United States.
We have to have Greenland. It's not a question of, do you think we can do without it? We can't.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Vice President J.D. Vance met with the Danish and Greenlandic foreign ministers on Wednesday in hopes of making a deal.
We do not think that military force is ever going to be necessary. We think this makes sense. And because we think the people of Greenland are rational and good, we think we're going to be able to cut a deal, Donald Trump style, to ensure the security of this territory, but also the United States of America.
Trump has said he'll take military action, if necessary, to control Greenland.
Greenland, basically, their defense is 2 dog sleds. Do you know that? You know what their defense is? 2 dog sleds.
The president has made his view clear, and we have a different position. We, the Kingdom of Denmark, continue to believe that also the long-term security of Greenland can be ensured inside the current framework. Ideas that would not respect territorial integrity of the Kingdom of Denmark and the right of self-determination of the Greenlandic people are, of course, totally unacceptable.
Joining us is Young Voices senior contributor Lora Karch. Lora, first, just how important is Greenland, a real cold and icy place? Do you agree or disagree that Greenland is important to U.S. national security interests?
I would generally agree that it is in the U.S. interest to have a deal with Greenland for our security. But it is more than just about our national security as well. I mean, it's become the main arena for the race for the Arctic power between the U.S., Russia, and China, essentially. There are many key shipping routes, the Northwest Passage, Northern Sea Route. So whoever controls trade up there will control who comes in and out, essentially. Trump also recently said that we need Greenland for the Golden Dome that he's building before Russia and China take it. So it's very much a race between us and our adversaries.
Trump says China and Russia have many submarines and ships around Greenland.
If you take a look outside of Greenland right now, there are Russian destroyers, there are Chinese destroyers and bigger. There are Russian submarines all over the place. We're not going to have Russia or China occupy Greenland, and that's what they're going to do if we don't.
The Greenlandic and Danish foreign ministers say that's not so. What is the risk of those two nations taking over or dominating the waters around Greenland? What's the threat to the United States?
Well, when it comes to the Russian scare, for lack of a better phrase, there are Russian bases not far from the island, geographically speaking, in northern Russia. And so there are suspected submarines. I haven't personally seen anything that confirms it, but it sounds to me like we're avoiding another Cuban Missile Crisis repeat. And technically, the only protection we would have from any Russian submarines coming through the Atlantic would be one UK submarine base up in the Atlantic. And to be fair, there are past examples of Chinese or Russian ships who have crossed into our exclusive zone by Alaska. So it's understandable, but I wouldn't go to war immediately about it.
Would the U.S. really go to war over Greenland? Denmark says that would be an end to NATO. It seems Trump's using that threat just to get negotiations started and to reach a deal that he would find acceptable. So what do you think?
I agree. I do think that Trump's threats were a way to bring Denmark officials to the table. And officially, a Danish official said after the meeting, it's very clear that Trump still wishes to conquer Greenland, but they are willing to work with the U.S. to find a common way forward. They teased more meetings to come, but they did mention that, the U.S. must respect the red lines of Denmark and that Greenland will remain in our kingdom for the foreseeable future. So these meetings wouldn't take place if war was seen as the only option by Trump. I do think he's being smart here, applying some classic diplomacy. And it's important to remember, too, Denmark is technically an ally, and they assisted the United States just last week in seizing an oil tanker in the Atlantic in relation to the Venezuela blockade.
Short of military action, you're advocating diplomacy. So what are you suggesting should be done to make everyone happy?
So I suggest a realistic path forward, some mutually beneficial agreement, because in my opinion, I don't think full U.S. ownership in this day and age is likely for such a large island with 60,000 people of their own culture and language and ethnicity, so to speak. So there's a real opportunity for a strategic partnership here, potentially some kind of compact of free association. It'll preserve simultaneously the Greenlandic sovereignty while enabling economic growth for both the US and Greenland at the same time, while securing our own US interest. And who knows, in the future, that may help Greenland rely less on Denmark. The portfolio in Greenland, their economic diversity is mainly mining and fishing. But the interest of the US into the island came from the rare earth elements as well, a lot of them that we can use in our tech and defense systems. Lots of precious metals, including iron and gold, and rumored oil reserves. They say millions of barrels are available under the island itself.
Okay, Young Voices senior contributor Lora Karch, thanks for sharing your insights.
Thank you so much for having me.